soul is welcome here.
Danny.
You can stand if you'd like.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Now I am. Good morning. I'm Elaine Arnold, a member of Unity. Welcome to Unity of the Hill Country, where we offer a positive path for spiritual living. The Daily Word has been giving the worldwide unity movement a daily prayer since July 1924. Today's reader is my mom, Robin Stewart. It's right here, Mom.
This was kind of a surprise for me this morning. And yet, when I read this earlier this morning, I said to myself, oh, I am. I am a living expression of God. In the book of Exodus, Moses asks God his name, and God responds, I am who I am. I am is the name of the divine presence within me, a reminder of my own spiritual nature. And we have to remember that what follows I am has power. So be careful about that. Each time I say I am, I strengthen my awareness of the truth of my being. I am God's love. I am God's wisdom. I am God's life and strength expressing uniquely through me. As I pay attention to my thoughts and words, I am able to recognize and release limiting thoughts more quickly. My awareness of my true identity grows stronger and stronger. Matthew 16:15. He said unto them, who do you say that I am? So if you will repeat after me, I am a living expression of God. Thank you.
The Unity movement started in 1889 with answered prayer. Myrtle Fillmore was healed of tuberculosis. We'll be honored to pray with you. You can request prayer at b.unity.org. You can also place a request in our lobby prayer box or on unityhillcountry.org and click on the Ministries tab. Please take a moment now to silence your phone so it doesn't disturb our gathering. Please join me in affirming our mission and vision statements. To live consciously, celebrating the divine potential in all, as well as Unity's statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. And Reverend Bob has an announcement.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I am continually amazed at all of you. I mean, the effort that went into putting together our yard sale this last week. I know Jack Porter we volunteered him to be the leader. But we were compiling a list because we wanted to personally thank everybody. Jack, why don't you come up and let's thank them together.
Well, we did it. And I'm going to start out with the bonus here. 1568. Oh, yeah. Whoops. Oh, we got some more. Okay, well then. Okay, so we got more. Oh, that's right. There's one that came in on the line. So it was wonderful. So I'll change that on my notes. Okay, I just want to thank all the people who donated things, stuff, things that you didn't use the last 5 years or 10 years or whatever. We invaded somebody's storage unit, and they hadn't seen that stuff for 30 years. And we got it. We had some unusual things. A boar's head, an wooden Indian, an antique Alamo glass painted item that's who knows how much it was worth. But they all sold. Now we do have things in the hallway here. Your last time to claim your prize. Okay? And if you didn't bring a checkbook, don't worry. Just take it home because we need to get rid of it. But we're going to donate all that to a local charity. St. Vincent de Paul. Yeah, and that 100% of their sales over there goes to their charities. Okay, so I want to thank our helpers, and I hope I don't leave anybody out. Frances, where are you? Frances Osborne. There she is over there. She kind of ramrodded this in her committee, okay, the events committee. And I kind of rammed it via the board, so we're kind of worked together on this. Ray Rinke, okay. Tony Lopez, Drake Reed, Patrick C. What's the C? Yeah, your friends. Yeah. Where's Francis C? Okay, Patrick C. So we had some nice young men and women come and help out too. And they did a fantastic job. They saved our backs, I guarantee you. Mr. Bob, Reverend Bob, myself, and they got me down here, myself, Tina, I'm just going to say the first names here, Ann, Carolyn, Lay, Jay, where are you, Jay? There you go. Brad, big contributor here. Yay, Joanne. Melaine, Robin, Jim, where are you, Jim? There you are, over there. Kathy, Danny, there he is. Patsy Sherman loaned us that trailer, and boy, we needed that trailer, I guarantee. And Judy Johnson. I know she said, I didn't do anything. Yes, you did. You did a lot. You gave us moral support and also cleaned all these tables off at the end to help us out. So thank you for all your help. It was a big team effort. And It was very successful. We made more than last year. I think it was around maybe $1,100 or $900. $1,200. Okay, so we exceeded our goal. Thank you so much.
A couple of things I wanted to go over. Let's see, I think I had. I need this to kind of prompt me, but that's not it. Okay. One was just reminding you we're going into the summer months, so if you can remember to set up like an automatic donation here, either weekly or monthly on our website. We can do that. And how many of you were here? Oh, okay, got it. So yeah, well, obviously we did the thank you. And if someone is interested in volunteering, say once a month as the platform host like Melaine is today, also we've got some guest speakers who would like someone else to do the meditation. So if you're interested in maybe guiding a meditation also, just give me your contact information or leave it in the office. And then just asking for your help. Like I said, we're going into the summer months, so if you feel moved to give something yourself, otherwise you just pray that our revenues will always exceed expenses and setting up that weekly or monthly giving. So how many of you were here when Reverend Joan McKee was the minister? Okay. Over there in the bookcase is the picture of the first minister here, Joan McKee. She was here from 78 to 95, as I recall. We got a surprise during the week. Her two children, or two of her children, showed up. Her daughter, Marty, and her son, Tim. And they dropped off some stuff that they've had in their storage locker, not even knowing we were going to be doing the yard sale. So they had not, even though they'd been back to Kerrville a couple times, they lived north of Austin, they had been by to see the building but hadn't been inside. So they had a chance to do that, and just were very happy that Carla and I had met Joan and her husband Don when we came through in 1992 to do the prosperity seminars that we were doing everywhere. So yeah, it was nice, and Marty looks just like Joan. It's just amazing. So yeah, she was the first Unity minister here for the congregation, so it was nice to see them. And another, we're beginning, well, I shouldn't say we're beginning, we're continuing to see a demonstration of prosperity. You know, each year we have a national convention, and our region decided to hold a drawing to pay for the registration fee for somebody here in the region. And guess who won? Yeah. So $500 that we don't have to worry about paying. And I'll be going up there the third week of June for the national convention up there outside of Kansas City. So that's kind of what we're doing here. And I think next, let's see here, we've got our congregational song this week is I See Abundance Everywhere, and it'll be followed by our meditation song, Let's Help Each Other Out. So pass it on. Oh! See, this is why I need these visible reminders. Last year, in fact, on November 19th, I did the lesson people have been asking for, aging or eldering, the spirituality of aging. So if you missed it, if you go to YouTube, just type in aging or eldering and my name, it'll probably pop right up. But we also had a booklet from Unity last year, and Unity said it was their most popular book in several years. So they decided, hey, why don't we put out another book on spirituality and aging? So this book is out there in the lobby. Grab one or as many as you think you need. We bought a pile of them so that, they're about 50 cents a piece. So yeah, just wanted to remind you of that. And then here again, YouTube, you can get to our YouTube channel, see all of the Sunday lessons going back a few years. So, all right.
And you can sing along. This is our congregation song. I see abundance everywhere, God's rich supply beyond compare. To peace and to enjoy his gift to us without alloy. Prosperity, prosperity, I know my own shall come to me. God sends his children joy and peace, good health and wisdom and increase, and we are grateful voices raised to thee, O God, in hymns of praise. There is no lack, all bountiful, all love proceeds, how beautiful. Our spirit guides us on the way, sustains and blesses us each day. Prosperity, prosperity, I know my own shall come to me. God send his children joy and peace, good health and wisdom and increase, and we are grateful voices raised to thee, O God, in hymns of praise. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through.
Twists and turns, unexpected, day by day, moving on. I don't have all the answers, come what may, right or wrong.
All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through.
Crashing waves touch the shore. Time moves faster every day. Ebb and flow, no control. All that's left to say.
All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. And help each other through.
If you haven't already, just prepare for meditation and prayer. Take a nice deep breath. Bring your attention to this very moment and feel that amazing presence that is God. Always here, always available. And draw your focus from your head down to your heart and then to the very center of your torso, the center of the spiritual being having a human experience. And let's take a moment to pray for others. So bring to mind any individuals, any groups, any situations that you'd like to pray for now. We include all of the prayer requests received here at Unity of the Hill Country in our lobby prayer box and on our website, unityhillcountry.org. And without needing to know the specifics, we can pray. We can help each other through. So we see and know that there is a divine substance, a divine potential, and a divine perfection in and expressing through each of these prayers requests as wholeness, as their highest good. And let's pray now for our spiritual cooperative. We know that Unity of the Hill Country is thriving in consciousness, people, and revenues today and every day hereafter. The God presence as Unity of the Hill Country is a divine magnet attracting anyone who can benefit from who we are and what we are about, attracting health, prosperity, love, and joy to Unity of the Hill Country and all who are guided here today and every day hereafter. I now invite you to take the words I'm about to speak as your own words of prayer in this meditation. I am a child of God, in whom God is well pleased. My divine birthright is to express the God presence in this physical world, as health, as wealth, as happiness. I no longer depend on the things in this physical world, on persons or circumstances to supply my needs. I depend upon God's divine substance, which underlies all matter, congealing into the things that I need. God's rich kingdom within me can call forth into my outer world abundance of good. All debts paid in full, all needs met, all obligations fulfilled, and our desires demonstrated with plenty to spare and to share with others. And as I prepare for 2 minutes of silence, I embrace and express the divine idea of prosperity in the silence. thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No matter what I face, I thank God for the knowledge that I'm not facing it alone. I realize that right now God is with me, and all of my fellow travelers on this earth come together and collaborate. There is a great comfort in this for me and a great strength. And for my ever-growing awareness of the omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence of God, I am grateful. I pray these things in the name and the nature and the power that we know is symbolized by Jesus Christ. And as we draw our focus back to the sanctuary, let me read the words of the invocation written by Charles Fillmore. We are now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit, and by divine wisdom now erase our mortal limitations. And from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation our world according to thy perfect law. Amen. Let's sing the Alleluia chant together. A man came to a minister to get some spiritual counseling, and he was sitting there crying, "Oh, I just had to declare bankruptcy. It's all over. I've lost everything." And the minister says, "Can I ask you a few questions?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." "Are your eyes still functioning?" Yes, of course. It was obvious we're talking, so you can hear and you can speak. I saw you walk into the office, so I know that you can walk. You haven't lost everything. All you've lost is your money and some of your possessions. The producer, Michael Todd, once said, "I've been broke many times, but I've never been poor." It's all about attitude. You know, we have this amazing imagination that allows us to take the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat of Joseph, and which is the symbolism of imagination, and we can project out here into our physical world what it is we prefer to see happen. We use our imagination to be a co-creator with this God energy, allowing it to just flow through us so that we can demonstrate what it is we desire. Now, the funny thing about this physical world is life can be challenging. We've all had our challenges. The ones that we brought on ourselves, and then the other ones that just seem to pop up out of nowhere. But as I said in the meditation, that sense of knowing, okay, if I am indeed an expression of God, then God is more powerful than anything I'm facing here. So I open to the divine mind and allow the divine download. As many of you know, Unity, the movement started back in 1889. Myrtle Fillmore, diagnosed with tuberculosis, told that she has a few months to live. Here's a speaker out of Chicago who's down there in Kansas City talking about just what I'm talking about now. We create our experience. And she said she remembered the line, "If I am a child of God, then I can't inherit sickness, because God is not sick." And she took some of his techniques, meditating, focusing on the chakras, on the organs. She realized her whole life she had been told that tuberculosis ran in her family, and what do you know? She comes up with tuberculosis. And over a 2-year period, gone. I mean, no medical cure at the time, but no sign of tuberculosis in her system. And they were able to recognize this works in all of these other ways as they really started to study spirituality and the world's religions. Unity started teaching these principles of prosperity. Now, I want to make sure we're defining terms here, because in like the 1980s and stuff, a lot of these televangelists would preach what is nicknamed the prosperity gospel. All you need to do is to tithe to this church here, and you will be wealthy beyond imagination. It's like, no, that's not what we're teaching. What we're teaching is that, yeah, we can set our goals, but we need to forgive. We need to allow for the divine guidance to come through as to what is ours to do and what is ours not to do. And then, of course, be generous. Be willing to tithe of our time, our talent, and our treasure. All of these things come together, so. We're not talking about the prosperity gospel, but we are talking about prosperity principles taught for over 100 years in the unity movement. A full spectrum of prosperity, though, is health, being able to express yourself here in this physical world. Having healthy relationships, whether they're the intimate, loving relationships or the family relationships, or just being nice and having good relationships with acquaintances that we have in the world. What about your occupation? I heard someone say, well, I'm retired. Saying, well, yeah, you're retired, but certainly, you can contribute your spiritual gifts, passions, and talents to the world. What do you do well? Do your part in making this world a better place. Financial supply, knowing that, yeah, the revenues are going to be there. Sometimes they're delayed, but revenues will always be more than my expenses. And then, of course, spiritual awareness, that ever-growing expansion of my awareness that I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. One of the neat things about unity is, those first 30 years or so, it was mainly just a correspondence course kind of a thing, but the congregation there in Kansas City grew out of a study group in Charles and Myrtle's living room to a congregation there in Kansas City. And they started teaching and ordaining ministers in 1920. And the fascinating thing, when you look at all of these pictures in the Unity archives, like 70 to 80% of these graduating seminary students were women. Unity recognized equality, DEI, way before anybody else seemed to. And one of the great Unity ministers, the mid-1900s, was Reverend Georgiana Tree West. Got a photograph of her here. She, in the 1920s, she was diagnosed with cancer, and like Myrtle told, okay, get your affairs in order, you're going to die. And she was introduced to the Unity principles in New York City. She was able to, like Myrtle, just cure herself, heal herself of the cancer, and wanted to study more. And she ended up going through Unity Seminary, being ordained in 1935, and decided, I'm going to start a congregation in New York City. And we're going to rent a room at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Everybody can get their public transportation. Maybe it's hard for us to really believe people took public transportation everywhere. But it was just this very powerful congregation. Went from 1936 until 1959 was when she retired. So she discovered the Unity Prosperity Principles and pointed out to people, hey, we have spiritual gifts, passions, and talents. It's not about wealth or accumulating possessions. It's about making this world a better place in our own special way. And she wrote this amazing book, Prosperity's 10 Commandments, Georgiana Tree West. I know you can get it, either the electronic version or the print version at shop.unity.org. Well, we did a book study group on this 2 years ago. But I wanted to go through these because what she did, she came up with this idea. What if I were to take the 10 Commandments and kind of cross-pollinate them with the prosperity principles of unity and see if I can come up with 10 commandments that we can remember as far as how to move through this world and bless it as we go. So, let's start with number 1. I am the Lord your God, and you shall have no other gods before me. Well, Georgiana said, well, thou shalt look to no other source but God for thy supply. You may have a job, yes, you may have a retirement account, you may get benefits or pensions, but those are all channels of your good, of your financial supply in the world, not the source. God is the source. You know, it's kind of like the water system here in Kerrville. I mean, okay, I've got a faucet in my house, and I have to laugh because up on Leslie Drive up there at the north edge of Kerrville, water pressure's a little low. Carla and I have learned, check to make sure that the other person isn't in the shower when you flush the toilet, if you catch my drift. I mean, you know, it's just suddenly, you know, not only does it go hot, but it goes into a trickle. And, oh no, where's the water? So, but you know, the metaphor is that, okay, you may look at these monthly Social Security retirement benefits, but that's just one channel through which, one faucet through which this substance flows into your life. So, you see that God is your source for your supply. Number 2, thou shalt make for yourself, you shall not make for yourself a graven image. And she said, okay, thou shalt make no mental images of lack. If God is all powerful, and we're using our imagination to picturing lack, or that everything's going to go to hell, what do you think is going to happen? I remember, you know, Reverend Edwin Gaines would say, I'd pray to God and say, God, what do you want me to do? And she said, finally, I listened in my meditation, and I heard God saying, Edwin, what do you want me to do with you? You know, hey, name it. You're an individual expression of this God energy. But you have to express who you are into this world. So if we change our thoughts to prosperity, see the possibilities, rather than contracting our vision, expanding it, and allowing that space to come, whatever we focus on is going to expand. Number 3, you shall not take the name of your Lord, your God in vain. So thou shalt not speak the word of lack or limitation to others or to yourself. We use this spoken word, and it causes a vibration to go out, and it does affect. I mean, they've shown this scientifically, and it affects the various molecules in the world. And so when we put that consistent energy out, our beliefs rather than our thoughts, add the passion to it, suddenly, what a coincidence. I had been praying about that. How did God know I was praying about that? You know. So be careful not to project your current circumstances into the future, saying, okay, God, again, guide me. Okay, the next slide. Let's see, we've got remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So thou shalt let go and let God do it. We get the divine download. Like I said, divine ideas. It's like, okay, God, please coach me. I'm teachable. Give my conscious mind some direction here. And so we open it, and it comes in our intuition. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So we get the guidance, we do all the things we're guided to do at this point, and say, okay, nothing's happened yet. You know, so it's, you know, would you rather say, oh, well, God, I got it from here, or just say, no, wait a minute, all right. I'm not being guided to do anything specific, so I'm just going to let go, let God know that if there's something else I need to do here in the physical world, it will come to me through my mind. Number 5, honor your father and your mother. Georgiana came up with, thou shalt deal honorably with God and with all human instruments through which God's good is manifested for you. Expressing gratitude, treating people well, we'll talk a little bit more about that. being willing to tithe. Tithing is a sacred worship ceremony to give of our time, our talent, our treasure. Number 6, oh, this is a good one. You shall not kill. And so Georgiana came up with, thou shalt keep my wealth circulating wisely. So the important thing is, here again, don't kill the energy. You know, don't stop the flow of God's energy into this world. You know, it's like with our own bodies, you know, there has to be a circulation of our blood, our breath, you know, all of these things that we see in nature. I mean, even, of course, there in Israel, they would often talk about, here's this wonderful Sea of Galilee with all this fishing, and then there's the River Jordan coming down to the Dead Sea. And what was the difference? The difference was the Dead Sea had no outlet. So there was a stagnation, and of course the salt would concentrate itself. Let me read you this one passage from the Gospel of Matthew, 25th chapter. Jesus is teaching about the kingdom of heaven. Now, in Bible symbolism, especially in Matthew, he'll mention the kingdom of God, which is this absolute realm. God is always powerful, always there. But then the kingdom of heaven is our awareness that God is always there. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We learn from trial and error, and we get better. Suddenly, we're getting it a little bit better every day. Doesn't mean we can't have our moments of doubt. But in this Gospel of Matthew, 25th chapter, Jesus says, for it will be as when a man going on a journey called his servants and entrusted to them the stewardship of his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1 talent. He gave them according to what he thought their ability was. The man then went on his journey. He who received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them. He ended up earning another 5 talents more. So also the man who had 2 talents made 2 talents more. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants came home and settled accounts with them. He who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents, and I have made another 5 talents. So here are your 10 talents. And his master said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little, and I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he who had the 2 talents came forward, saying, Master, you have delivered me 2 talents, and I have made another 2 talents for you. His master said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. And you have been faithful over a little. I will set over you more and enter into the joy of your master. Now see if you can catch the attitude of this next guy. He who received 1 talent came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, gathering where you did not winnow. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. So here is the talent back. His master looked at him and said, you wicked and slothful servant. You say that you knew that I reap where I have not sowed, and that I gather where I have not winnowed? Then you ought to have invested the talent with the bankers, and at my coming home I should have received what at least was my own with some interest. So take the talent from him. Give it to the guy who made 10 talents. For everyone who has will more be given, and he will have abundance. But from them who have not, even what he has will be taken away. Interesting how people will pluck words and sentences and phrases out of that passage without the context. A talent was a gold coin. But isn't it interesting that in the English language, talent also means our gifts, passions, and talents? The number 5 represents our 5 senses. What are you doing with your 5 senses out here in the world? The number 2 is the polarization of the world, the ability to say yes and to say no. 1 no. And like I say, I love the guy's attitude. It's like, well, you know, I don't think you deserve your money. I don't just think you deserve all this abundance. So I'm just going to, that was generally the guy's attitude. And so when he says, yeah, he who's got more consciousness and applies it is going to get more. But if this guy here is kind of like, screw you, man, what do you think's going to happen with him? Okay, let's move on to number 7. You shall not commit adultery. Reverend West came up with, thou shalt use thy wealth for good purposes only. Whatever energy we put out is going to come back multiplied. Fascinating thing about the mention of adultery in the Bible is that what it means is mixing your good intentions, your good energy with negativity. So if you indeed pour energy into negativity, you'll be like the guy with 1 talent. That's what adultery is all about. Let no man tear asunder though that which God had put together. Well, God put together our thinking and our feeling nature. Yeah, you don't want to tear those apart, or you'll end up with a schizophrenic crack up probably. Okay, let's move on to our next slide. Number 8. You shall not steal. Well, number 8 is, thou shalt not seek something for nothing. And in this book, Prosperity's 10 Commandments, she points out, rather than worried about getting screwed, why don't you worry about making sure that you're giving more than you need to give? When you put that kind of energy out into the world, you're going to become, and the way she put it is, suddenly your apple cart turns into a chariot to the gods. You're suddenly getting it, by being more generous. You're going to have other people in the whole world be more generous with you. Number 9, you shall not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not bear false witness against the source of thy wealth. Like I touched on before, you want to recognize that the real source is God. And then like the daily word today, I am. If I am, and here the burning bush says to Moses, I am that I am. I am you in the physical world. So if you declare I am sick and tired, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I cancel that. I don't want to create that. I'm going to put out a different energy. So what do you put after the words I am? And then finally, number 10, you shall not covet your neighbor's possessions. There's a long list of stuff in there. And so Reverend West comes up with, thou shalt not limit thyself by coveting that which is another's. Thou shalt claim thine own. There's enough and more than enough for everybody. Enough. Buckminster Fuller, in his book, The Creative Path, points out that, when he looks at the creative energy of the world, he figures that, every person in this world is worth at least $500 million. If we really divided it up evenly and helped each other. So, how do we express prosperity? Well, we think prosperity, we talk prosperity, we act prosperity. We believe the divine idea of prosperity, and then we're willing to express the guidance that we get. In other words, be prosperity. So let's review. Obviously, this is printed in your bulletin. Also, I got the article from my book, which is actually a book chapter on the 10 Commandments, the book that I wrote back in 2007. And if you want a copy of that, give me your email address. So number 1, thou shalt look to no other source but God for thy supply. Thou shalt make no mental images of lack. Thou shalt not speak the word of lack or limitation to others or to yourself. Thou shalt let go and let God do it. Thou shalt deal honorably with God and with all human instruments through which God's good is manifested for you. That's a mouthful. Next, number 6. Thou shalt keep my wealth circulating wisely. Thou shalt use thy wealth for good purposes only. Thou shalt not seek something for nothing. Thou shalt not bear false witness against the source of thy wealth. And thou shalt not limit thyself by coveting that which is another's. Thou shalt claim thine own. I have a video for you from Steve Hartman of the CBS Evening News.
Inside the Judson Manor retirement community in Cleveland, Ohio, they have about 100 senior citizen residents.
I am 66 years old.
I'm 77.
I'm 93 years old.
And then there's Marissa.
And I'm 24.
That's right, 24.
Just turned 24.
Marissa Plank lives in a one-bedroom apartment on the 10th floor of Judson Manor.
So what are you doing here?
Well, I live here with my peeps, as I call them, my neighbors, and I'm really just not looking forward to graduating because I have to leave.
Because you like retirement so much.
Yes. It's, I mean, literally the best way to live. Do you want to sit down?
When she's not mingling with her girlfriends at the retirement community, Marissa is a student at the Cleveland Institute of Music. And it was here that she first heard about a deal they were offering over at Judson. Free rent in exchange for monthly performances.
So this is CPE Bach Sonata in A minor.
It was a deal too good to pass up. Marissa is now fully immersed in her golden years. And she's not the only student here. 2 other kids took the deal as well.
Those young people do a lot for us. They bring us alive.
It's just nice to have the young people here. They become good friends.
And that's the really amazing thing. At some point, this stopped being about the concerts, not only for the seniors,
How are you?
but the students too.
I love your top. That is so cute. It became more of like a family than a job.
Family?
They're all my grandparents.
You know, they didn't set this up for your benefit.
No, and yet I think I get the better end of the deal. I really do.
In America, we segregate ourselves as much by the date on our driver's license as the color of our skin. But by reaching out across the ages, the young and old of Judson Manor have discovered a joy that they hope spreads to other retirement communities.
I think it's a beautiful program. I think it should be done all over.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right.
And there's a good note to end on. Steve Hartman, On the Road, in Cleveland, Ohio.
I know I often remind you to invite people, and it might be a good time to remind you that they've discovered something fascinating that's different about baby boomers compared to millennials and Generation Z. As baby boomers, if our parents or our grandparents asked us to come, we'd say, nah. Where they find the millennials and Generation Z have a lot more respect for their elders, so to speak. So you'll be amazed how even your grandchildren would say, okay, I'll come and join you for a Sunday, check things out. Okay, the closing Bible verse. Earlier in the Gospel of Matthew, 6th chapter, during the wonderful Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, therefore do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the Gentiles seek all of these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them all. But seek first God's kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things shall be yours as well. May you always be open to God's guidance and grace.
If this is your first time at Unity, we're glad you're here. We hope that you are finding a place of like-minded people and a place to belong. We teach spiritual tools that can help you no matter where you are, what is going on in your life. Generosity is important to us. We will donate $5 to a local charity of your choice. Please give us your email address so we can send you the list of charities and our weekly email of what's going on here. Do we have any new? I don't see any new faces today. If you are interested in a welcome packet, an usher can bring it to you, or you can grab one on your way out. We now have an opportunity to support our spiritual cooperative. If you would like to donate by credit card, go to our website, unityhillcountry.org, and click on the donate button, or scan the QR code on your handouts. Please consider setting up an automatic monthly contribution. If you would prefer to mail us checks, please send them to 1016 Jefferson Street, Kerrville, Texas 78028. And we thank you in advance for your generosity. Please bless what you are giving now, and join me in our offering affirmation together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I send it forth with my blessings and my love. We open our hearts in gratitude as we release these donations. We send these gifts forward through our congregation and into our world, blessing all that it affects. Thank you. As a reminder, this is Abundance Sunday, so please stay afterwards and join us for a meal. We've reached the end of our gathering. Please rise up, circle up, and join hands. We'll do the peace song and our prayer for protection.